Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, got a post here that I thought I'd show you from the HBAR Foundation, and they say, we're excited to see that AUDD Digital from AUDC is leveraging the Hedera network to launch the $AUDD, the premier Australian digital dollar stablecoin, as a Hedera token service, in brackets HTS token. So yes, AUDD is the Australian digital dollar, and it's becoming a stablecoin on Hedera. Great stuff to see. Now, before I do start, I will just get into this and say, this isn't only on Hedera. It's already on the XRP ledger. It's on the Ethereum network, and I think they said Stellar as well, XLM, and maybe Solana, but I'm not 100% sure. So just giving full transparency here, it's not just specific to Hedera. However, that's not a problem. That's not an actual problem at all, and I'll explain why. And why I do think this is still good for Hedera. Okay, so when it comes to stablecoins right now, when we're talking just right now, because we're not into like the future with, where it can be utilized for different ways. A stablecoin is basically just an on-ramp and off-ramp in regards to getting in and out of cryptos, right? It's about wanting to utilize some kind of token that you can have within the crypto space. But if you're still waiting to potentially get into a crypto or something like that. So let me give you an example. Right now, if I was to say for me as an example, right? If I want to get into crypto, I have to move money from my bank into the crypto space, so to an exchange, for example, and then have to decide obviously what crypto I want to buy, right? And so let's just say, for example, I've got a decision to make because I don't know what crypto yet I want to invest in. Well, me buying just a stable coin for now is what just maintains the value of the money that I have, right? So it just means, okay, let me just go into this stable coin for now. I'll hold out and see what kind of cryptos I want to research in, whatever. And then when I see one I like, I will buy that crypto, right? Because if you was to hold it in, let's just say, HBAR, Bitcoin, whatever, you gotta understand that the price fluctuates, right? So if you was thinking, oh, well, let me just hold it in one of these cryptos for now until I find another crypto, well, the price could fluctuate massively, right? And then you could lose value. So whatever money you originally put in, it might not be the same value afterwards. Now, don't get me wrong, it could be positive. It could be that you've got more value. It could be that the price has gone up, but that's the point, is volatility. You're not sure, right? So if you want to be in something safe where you just know, okay, this is the value of money that I've got, this is not going to change, you go into a stable coin. And it's the same, for example, if you was just in, let's just say, a crypto and you wanted to take some profits. It may be that you've been in a crypto for long enough and you've made a substantial amount of money from that crypto. So you're like, okay, I want to sell now. But you may not want to sell it into fiat currency. You might say, I want to keep this in crypto. I might just reinvest some of this money. I might reinvest all of it. I'm not sure yet. Well, just put it into a stable coin, right? So you just have it in a stable coin. And so when it comes to that, what you've got to understand is, as it stands right now, people are not using stablecoins, for example, to pay their electric bills and things like that. Now, in the future, I think that will be a very real thing. I do think that will be how it is. I think they won't just be using stablecoins in just the means to on-ramp and off-ramp into and out of crypto. I think it will be a thing where, people will use stablecoins to pay for things as well. But we're not there yet. And so when it comes to this right now, when you're looking at utilizing a stablecoin, as I said earlier, you're just utilizing it as a way to just hold the value to get into another crypto or whatever, right? Like that's really the main thing. Or if you want to utilize it to eventually take it to an exchange to get it back into a bank or whatever. It's not really something where you're going to choose a different network over another network because of the stablecoin right now. So for example, if I just wanted to, for example, get into a crypto and it was Hedera and it wasn't on Hedera, that's not going to make me say, okay, I'm not going to go on Hedera now because it doesn't have this stablecoin. That's not how it works right now, because really we're not using it because we need the stablecoin in the sense of, it needs to be on a certain network. Right now, it's just, okay, I can just hold it in a different currency for now because it's still going to hold its value. So let's just say, for example, you use the US dollar stablecoin, for example, you can just use it for that time being. And then use that network that you want to get into. So if it was Hedera and it didn't have your native country stablecoin, you could say, okay, I'll just hold the US dollar one for now, the USDC, for example. And then once I've got this crypto, cool, happy, I'll just, turn it back to money into my bank account, that kind of thing. But when it comes to like in the future, when, people are going to be using it for their bills, then yeah, they're probably going to want to use their native country cryptocurrency. So as it stands right now, I don't think it's like a thing where, okay, this native cryptocurrency, stablecoin, isn't on, Hedera. So I'm not going to pick Hedera. Like I don't think we're at that stage yet. It's not developed enough to that point yet. So in my opinion, although this is on other networks, I don't think that's a big deal. Or the Australian digital dollar, all this company is trying to do is they're trying to make it as accessible as possible, which I think most countries will do this. I don't think they're just going to stick to one network because, again, you're just limiting the volume and stuff on what it can be used, right? So when you think about like the US dollar, you don't just use it in America, for example, right? You can get dollars anywhere in any country. So like, that's just the way it works. Like, you're not going to just limit its potential and limit its reach. So I think they will try and make these stablecoins as liquid as possible. So I think they'll try and put them on as many exchanges as possible. I think that's just the likely move. And I think it's the smart move. Like, you want the money to be as free as possible. You don't want it to be restricted to one network. Because again, when you're talking in the future and people are using it to pay bills and things like that, you don't want it to be limited to just the one network then. You want it to be that anybody on any network can use the stablecoin, right? You want it to be able to just be free like you would in, the real world, right? Like, that's how you'd want it to be, like a normal fiat currency. So yeah, I think that's where it's going to go in the future. But for now, like, I don't think it's a big deal. So this is a huge positive. And the reason why I do think it's a big positive as well is because I don't think people realize how big of a deal stable coins are, because, they're stable in value, right? So people are not really looking at them from like an investment perspective. They're just looking at it as like, oh, it just maintains its value. But the thing is with these stable coins, these are what people are going to hold just generally, right? Like, if they don't want to be in a crypto right now, or if they're, like if a bear market's coming in, what are you going to do? Like, okay, let me just hold it in this stable coin so it's going to maintain its value. Like, let the bear market come through, or maybe I'll just scoop up some tokens during the bear market, but I've got my money readily available in this stable coin to pick up when I'm ready. So when you're just looking at it from just the investment perspective, yeah, of course, it's not going to go up in value because it's a stable coin. It's not supposed to. But in the general sense of like people using these stable coins on a day-to-day basis and in the future, like using it to pay their bills and stuff like that, that's going to be a lot of volume. Because as the world does shift digitally and moves onto the blockchain / hashgraph, that's when this stuff is going to be utilized way more, right? That's when it's going to be used on a day-to-day basis. So you could imagine, people who are Australian just generally using the Australian digital dollar, right? And you could be on any network. You could be on Hedera, you can be on the XRP ledger, you can be on, the Cardano network, whatever, right? But you've all got access to this digital currency, this digital stablecoin, and you'll be able to utilize it for your day-to-day expenses and things like that. So this is going to be bringing a lot of volume to the network. So I think this is a massive thing. As I've said before, I do think eventually every country will have their own native stablecoin. I think that will be a thing. And so the fact that Hedera is one of the networks of choice, as I say, I think they'll try and make it as many as possible in the future. But the fact that it's on here, it's just going to increase liquidity. So it's all just potential volume coming through. So I think this is actually a real good thing, real great stuff to say. And as I say, the fact that it's on other networks, it doesn't mean, that's a bad thing. It doesn't, I've said to you guys numerous times, it's not about like a one network to rule them all. That's just not realistic. There's going to be numerous networks that are successful. So at the end of the day, you haven't got to look at it as, Hedera's got to just take over or anything like that and, only have this kind of partnership or anything like that. It's really not going to be seen so tribal in that regard. But this is still a positive. It's still going to help with HBAR's trading volume and things like that. So it's still bringing value either way. So yeah, great stuff to see here. And I think this is something that will be positive for the network overall. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Take care.